Markus Klein, a lanky 19-year-old in a borrowed Navy suit, stepped into the opulent Schönbrunn Palace, its golden chandeliers casting intricate patterns on marble floors. The grandeur felt suffocating, designed to humble outsiders like him. He was here to pitch his startup, Artisan Link, a platform connecting small-scale artisans to global markets. To Sheikh Omar al-Rashid, a billionaire investor whose name carried weight across Europe. Markus's app had already linked 500 artisans to buyers in 10 countries, generating 200,000 euros in sales. But his palms sweated as he faced the Sheikh's entourage, suited advisors with polished shoes and skeptical gazes. His tie, slightly askew, marked him as an interloper in Vienna's elite circles. The Sheikh, draped in pristine robes, sat at the head of a mahogany table, his dark eyes piercing. "Mr. Klein," he began, his English sharp and deliberate, "your proposal claims innovation, but I see a boy with dreams too grand for his resume." The words cut deep, the room's silence amplifying their sting. Markus steadied his breath, recalling late nights coding in his cramped apartment, the grateful emails from artisans whose crafts found new homes. "My platform has driven real sales," he said, voice firm despite the tremor in his hands. "We've empowered artisans ignored by big markets." The Sheikh's lips curled into a faint smirk, dismissing Markus's data folder with a flick of his wrist. "Numbers can be embellished," he said, leaning back. "Why should I trust a boy with no pedigree?" Markus's throat tightened, his dreams teetering under the weight of judgment. The advisor's nods echoed the Sheikh's disdain, their eyes appraising him as if he were a curiosity, not a contender. He opened his mouth to counter, to defend the sleepless nights and the artisan's trust, but the Sheikh raised a hand, silencing him. The air grew heavy, the palace's elegance now a cage. Markus felt the sting of being measured not by his work, but by his lack of status, his borrowed suit a glaring emblem of his roots. Yet, deep within, a spark of defiance flickered, urging him to fight for his place in this unforgiving arena. The Sheikh's advisors leaned forward, their agreement with his dismissal palpable. Markus's heart sank, the weight of their judgment pressing against his chest. The Sheikh, exuding authority, switched to Arabic, addressing his aides with a mocking tone. "This boy thinks he can compete in our world," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "His app is a child's toy, nothing more." The room stilled, the words hanging like a verdict. Then, a soft clatter broke the silence. Amira, the palace maid, a young woman in a simple black uniform, paused while clearing coffee cups. Her dark eyes flicked up, and in flawless Arabic, she responded, her voice sharp and unwavering. "A toy that lifts those you overlook, Sheikh Omar. His platform gives artisans a voice, while your investments prop up empires that crush them." The room froze. Advisors gasped, their pens stilled. The Sheikh's smirk vanished, his eyes narrowing as he studied Amira. Markus's pulse raced, astonishment mingling with hope. "You value experience," Amira continued, her gaze steady. "Yet dismiss a boy who's built something real from nothing. His results speak louder than your wealth." The Sheikh leaned forward, intrigued yet challenged. "Bold words for a maid," he said, his tone a mix of curiosity and irritation. Amira didn't flinch. "I speak truth, something this room lacks," she replied, setting the tray down with deliberate calm. The advisors shifted uncomfortably, their murmurs barely audible. Markus felt the air change, the power dynamic tilting. Amira's words, raw and unfiltered, had cracked the Sheikh's polished facade. Her courage gave Markus a foothold, a chance to reclaim his narrative. He met her gaze briefly, a silent thank you passing between them. The Sheikh's fingers tapped the table, his silence heavy with calculation. Finally, he turned to Markus, his expression unreadable. "You have an unexpected ally," he said, voice low. "But words alone don't win investments." Markus nodded, his resolve hardening. Amira's intervention had shifted the room's energy, giving him a narrow window to prove his worth. As she retreated to the wall, tray in hand, Markus vowed to seize this moment, to show the sheikh that his platform was no toy but a force for change. 349 word. Markus sees the opening Amira had carved. She's right, he said, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him. Artisan Link isn't about empires. It's about people. Artisans ignored by markets like yours. Our numbers are real, built on their trust. He slid his folder across the table with newfound defiance, its pages brimming with charts and testimonials. An advisor leaned forward, whispering, "The metrics are solid." A Salzburg weaver's sales tripled through his platform. Another nodded, citing a case study of a potter whose work reached Tokyo buyers. The sheikh opened the folder, his fingers tracing the data, his earlier smirk replaced by a flicker of interest. Silence stretched, the room's tension palpable. Markus pressed on. "We've connected 500 artisans to global markets, generating 200,000 euros in 3 months. That's not embellishment, it's impact." The sheikh's eyes narrowed, but he didn't interrupt. "You have my attention, Mr. Klein," he said at last, his voice measured. "But can your vision scale?" Markus's heart pounded, sensing opportunity. "Give me 3 months," he replied. "I'll show growth that speaks for itself." The sheikh's gaze shifted to Amira, who stood quietly by the wall, then back to Markus. "I invest in results, not dreams," he warned. 3 months. Don't disappoint." Markus nodded, his mind racing with plans. As he left the salon, the palace's grandeur no longer intimidated him. Amira's bold stand had shifted the narrative, giving him a chance to prove his worth. Outside, Vienna's spires gleamed under a crisp sky, and Markus felt a surge of purpose. He thought of the artisans, weavers, potters, jewelers, whose lives his platform had touched. This wasn't just about funding. It was about building a world where talent, not status, defined success. Back at his apartment, Markus called his team, 2 coders and a marketing student, outlining the challenge. "We got 3 months to scale," he said, voice firm. "Let's show them what we can do." As he hung up, he glanced at his laptop, the Artisan Link logo glowing on the screen. Amira's words echoed in his mind, fueling his resolve to turn this spark into a blazing triumph. Markus threw himself into the challenge, working late into the night in his cramped Vienna apartment, the glow of his laptop illuminating stacks of notes. His team, coders Elena and Lucas and marketing student Clara, rallied to expand Artisan Link. They onboard artisans from Italy, France, and Spain, growing the platform to 2,000 users and 1.2 million euros in sales. Amira, who revealed she studied economics at night school, became an unexpected ally. Her insights, honed by years navigating elite spaces as a maid, pinpointed underserved markets. "Focus on authenticity," she advised. "Buyers want stories, not just products." Markus integrated her ideas, crafting campaigns that highlighted artisans' lives, a Provence potter's family legacy, a Barcelona jeweler's eco-friendly methods. The platform's user base surged, driven by these human connections. By the deadline, Markus returned to Schönbrunn Palace, his presentation polished, backed by data and stories. The sheikh, flanked by advisors, watched as Markus unveiled the numbers. 2,000 artisans, 1.2 million euros in sales, and a 40% growth in user engagement. A video showcased a Lisbon weaver tearfully thanking Artisan Link for saving her workshop. The sheikh leaned forward, his expression softening. "Impressive," he said, "but can you outlast corporate giants copying your model?" Markus smiled, echoing Amira's wisdom. "We build trust, not just products. Giants can't replicate that." The sheikh's eyes glinted with respect. "You've earned a partner, Mr. Klein. 5 million euros, initial investment. Show me how far you can go." As Markus left, contract in hand, he felt the weight of possibility. Amira's insights had shaped their success, her voice amplifying their mission. Back at their makeshift office, a rented co-working space, the team celebrated, toasting with cheap coffee. Markus outlined the next phase, expanding into Eastern Europe and refining their platform's algorithm to match artisans with niche buyers. Amira's market analyses guided their strategy, identifying gaps corporate competitors ignored. As the team worked, Markus saw a future taking shape, one where artisans thrived, not because of wealth or connections, but because of a platform that valued their craft. The Sheikh's investment was a milestone, but Markus knew the real victory was proving that grit and heart could reshape markets. Markus stood outside the palace, contract clutched tightly, as Amira approached. "You didn't need me to speak," she said, a faint smile on her lips, "but I'm glad I did." Markus grinned. "You changed everything. Join us. We need you." Amira hesitated, her eyes scanning the horizon, then nodded. "I'm in." Over weeks, she became a cornerstone, her economic insights sharpening Artisan Link's expansion into Poland and Hungary. The platform grew to 3,000 artisans, sales hitting €3 million. Amira's ability to spot overlooked markets, like rural cooperatives, set them apart. But whispers of copycat apps surfaced, corporate giants mimicking Artisan Link's model with flashier interfaces, but no soul. Amira's analysis exposed their flaws. Hollow branding, no artisan trust. "They sell products, we sell stories," she said. Markus rallied the team, emphasizing authenticity. At a Vienna tech fair, their booth buzzed with artisans sharing success stories. A Madrid sculptor, a Krakow glassblower. Attendees flocked, drawn by the platform's heart. The Sheikh's €5 million fueled growth, but Amira's vision kept them grounded. They hired a Lisbon designer, Sophia, whose intuitive UI boosted user attention by 25%. Markus saw corporate competitors falter, their apps criticized for lacking depth. Artisan Link's reviews glowed, artisans praising its community focus. One evening, Markus and Amira pored over data, mapping expansion into Romania. "We're not just a platform," Amira said, "we're a movement." Markus nodded, struck by her clarity. The team worked late, fueled by takeout and ambition, refining algorithms to prioritize artisan stories over profit margins. At the fair's closing, a Czech weaver approached, tears in her eyes, thanking Markus for reviving her family's craft. The moment crystallized his purpose, to empower the overlooked. As competitors scrambled, Artisan Link's trust-based model won loyalty. Markus looked at his team, Elena coding furiously, Lucas testing servers, Clara crafting campaigns, Amira charting markets, and felt a surge of pride. They were building something unstoppable, not because of wealth, but because of belief in their mission. As Vienna's lights twinkled outside, Markus knew Amira's spark had ignited a fire that corporate giants couldn't extinguish, a flame that would carry Artisan Link far beyond the palace's gilded halls. A year later, Markus stood in Artisan Link's new office, a sleek space overlooking Vienna's skyline. The platform now connected 10,000 artisans, generating €10 million in sales. Awards lined the walls, but handwritten notes from artisans, a Galway knitter, a Budapest silversmith, meant more. The Sheikh visited, his once commanding presence softened. "I misjudged you, Markus," he admitted, eyeing the office's buzzing energy. "Your results speak." Markus met his gaze calm. "It's not about me. It's about every artisan we've lifted, every voice you overlooked." The office hummed with diverse talent, coders, analysts, designers, chosen for skill, not status. Amira, now a partner, led market strategy, her insights driving 30% growth in Eastern Europe. Corporate copycats faltered, their apps bleeding users for lack of trust. At a global summit, Markus and Amira presented, their data and stories silencing skeptics. A Riga Potter's testimonial drew applause, cementing Artisan Link's impact. The Sheikh's apology lingered, an olive branch Markus accepted without gloating. The real victory was a movement they'd built, a platform where talent trumped pedigree. Clients, from small cooperatives to global retailers, chose Artisan Link for its authenticity. Markus hired a Romanian data analyst, Victor, whose unconventional models cut costs by 15%. The team's ethos, no hierarchies, only results, drove innovation. One evening, as Markus reviewed a dashboard showing a 34% revenue spike, Amira knocked. "We're changing lives," she said, pointing to a thank-you email from a Sicilian weaver. Markus smiled, the weight of their journey settling. From a chic scorn to Amira's bold stand, they defied expectations. Corporate giants, once dismissive, now courted them for partnerships. Markus declined, valuing independence over assimilation. As Vienna's lights glowed, he reflected on their path. A boy in a borrowed suit, a maid's fearless voice, a team that believed in outcomes over status. Artisan Link wasn't just a business. It was a testament to grit, heart, and the power of the overlooked. Markus closed his laptop, the Artisan Link logo glowing softly. The Sheikh's investment had opened doors, but Amira's spark had lit the way. Together, they'd built a legacy that would shine far beyond Vienna, proving that real change begins when those ignored are given a chance to soar.